I've confused the shit out of myself about my own poem. This was supposed to be an easy video. This was supposed to just be, here you go. Here's an example of how you can edit. This is what I did. What the fuck happened? Hi, welcome back. Yes, I'm filming this the same day I did the 10K sub special because I had all my equipment out, so whatever. I'm here again. So today I want to show you guys the evolution of one of my poems. I want to take you to the idea, the first draft, a couple of the middle drafts, and then what it finally ends up being. And I want to go through the notes I write and like the ideas I have between drafts. I'm doing this because I hope it helps some beginner writers learn what the editing process looks like, maybe, or give them some tips for when they go back to their own work, or maybe you're just interested in seeing how a poet does it, whether or not you write. I just wanted to make this video. A little bit of backstory on how I learned to write before I show you this poem, because I kind of learned it smack dab in the middle and then at the end of it, and it'll make a little bit more sense. I wrote the first draft of this while I was in university. At university, I was in classes where we learned to analyze poems, in sonnet sequence classes and Shakespeare classes and all these old literature, whatever classes. Professors were always pointing out different techniques and different tricks behind what we were reading, and it got me really excited, and I wanted to try out some of those things. I thought the forms were so cool. Forms like sonnets, villanelles, dubs, glossas, sestinas, pantoums, palindromes, ekphrasis, haikus, and I just wanted to do it. So for a year or two, I wrote only in forms. I also decided to do this because they taught us that the sonnet is called the poet maker, because when you write a sonnet, there's so many rules, so many things you have to balance, so many literary devices that if you can handle all of that, you can kind of master anything after that. And I wanted to be made into a poet, so I did that for a long time. And I loved it. And my professor at one point goes, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "You gotta stop now. Take all these poems that you wrote in these forms and write them again out of the forms." And I kind of wrote whatever in the forms. Like I wrote a sonnet about lying, and a sonnet about thieving, and a villanelle about the deep-bellied silhouette that follows you, and blah, 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 blah. Like, these poems didn't make sense to be in those forms, but I just wanted to learn the forms. I had the forms on my poems like training wheels on a bike. It's the equivalent of a musician playing the scales or a painter learning color theory. I was just going through the foundational knowledge that I wanted. And then my professor was like, "Cool, move on." And you don't have to copy how I learned to write. That's not what this video is about. I'm just giving you my backstory. Your writing journey is yours. It's just, that's what I did. Yeah. It really helped me move from beginner to intermediate. Tooting my own horn. Yeah, I don't want this video to be about me thinking I'm so cool. I don't. You're gonna see the first draft of this poem and laugh. I wrote the first draft of this poem while I was only writing in forms. And then I left it alone for a while, and when I came back, I was writing everything out of the forms. That's why it's like that. All that talking for that explanation, goddammit. Are y'all ready? Just while I'm setting up, I'm gonna say this. People in my comments have said that their writing teachers made writing seem very boring, and you can only write in forms, and the forms are the only acceptable form of poetry, and it really turned you guys off of writing. I think that forms are amazing and cool to read and cool to see all the stuff that goes into them, but they are not the be-all, end-all of poetry at all. No. If you want to use them, you can do what I did and use them as training wheels or examples, but you don't have to write in them. You don't have to. Your teachers were wrong. Listen to me. I'm your teacher now, okay? It's just us now, and I think you're doing great. Alright, here's the first one. The floor is lava and the doors are gone. We balance on chairs and swing from curtains, tiptoeing and stumbling off and on. We think of jumping, but it's uncertain. Neither of us brought the lava in here, but it has burned the carpet all the same. We trip over things, they fall, disappear, burning in lava, and there's no one to blame. Smoke fills our eyes. We have tried rain dances. Tiny raindrops make steam, but not ashore. We hop closer and take our chances. You can't save me from burning anymore. Take my hand, love, and we'll dip in our feet. Beautifully warm and makes us complete. Please leave in the comments what you would change or fix about this poem, because this poem is not perfect. All these drafts are not perfect. I'm not the perfect writer, even though I am speaking with a lot of authority. A lot of people call me snobby. I'm just having a good time. Did I name this one? I don't think I was naming my sonnets. I wanted a sonnet sequence thingy going on where it's like, ooh, this is sonnet number 4. Like, ooh. Because in sonnet sequences, which is basically a novel's level plot about a dude being obsessed with a girl, and it's written over like 200 sonnets. Sir Philip Sidney is Stella and Astrophil is the one we went over a lot, and every poem was doing something different, and it was mind-blowing. Shakespeare also has a sonnet sequence that doesn't really have like, that isn't connected like a novel like Sir Philip Sidney's. Who's the other one? Tennyson? Heard about fairies. So did Shakespeare. No. So very quickly, a sonnet, 14 lines, 3 quatrains, and a couplet, and it rhymes like this, back and forth until the couplet, which I think is a G, yeah. Yeah, it has potential. I don't hate it too much, but it is not the final draft. It is so... I have problems with it. I don't like that I used burning twice. Like, we get it. Oh, burn. Oh. I remember that eyes used to be lungs and I changed it to make it sound less cliched. I do like this line. I felt very clever. I don't like this line. Bad. We trip over things. They fall, disappear. Like, I don't like the caesuras. I don't like the stops. When you write a sonnet, it's very musical because you have to handle the meter, the rhyme, the syllables, and all of that creates like a beat and a rhythm. So then when you start throwing in extra caesura where it doesn't really make any sense, it gets in the way of that beat and it stands out a lot in your brain. And no, I did not write this in meter. I cannot hear meter. You're supposed to write sonnets in iambic pentameter, which is what most of Shakespeare's stuff is written in. If this was written properly, it would be unstressed, stressed. I can't hear it. I can't hear meter. I can't do scansion, which is the process of counting stresses and unstresses to determine what the meter of something is. I can't. It doesn't make sense to me. When I write in Greek, I'm not Greek, I speak a little Greek. I can't hear the stresses. Like in Greek, you're supposed to write, you're supposed to put an accent. And I don't know if any of that's right. Ime, I think. That one I'm confident with. I can't hear it, man. Something wrong with me. I can't do math either. Also, oh, okay, we trip over things, they fall, disappear. Also, what does that mean? We trip over things. We lose things. In this couple is in this conflict, and the lava is detrimental, and it's hard to live in this environment because of their conflict. And so I'm expressing that through the lava. Memories, we trip over things. So this is an accident that is getting rid of the things, and then they disappear forever? The f does that mean? Idiot. Idiot. Sorry. It's bad. Oh, I should go cry. We stumble off and on. This sounds like we fell. So when I wrote it the first time, I knew what my volta was going to be, and that helped me write it a lot. So one reason why I really love writing sonnets is because they have a volta, which is basically like a punchline, a little switcheroo. It is, if you watched me reading my viewers' poems, part 1, I talk about subject A, subject B. Volta is basically doing that, and it's a more technical way to do that. Everything is about exploring one topic in the last couple of lines, and I always like to keep it to the couplet. You have a change in tone which signals the meaning to the reader. So take my hand, love. That is my tonal shift that starts to reveal the meaning of the poem, that these people actually do want to stay together, and that they're gonna try. And maybe problems suck, like a house filling up with lava, and that's what problems make you feel like. But maybe the the bad comes with the good. It's more acceptance of it. And not in a toxic relationship kind of way, but in a normal people aren't perfect kind of way. Like, it's not like one person doing something to the other. This is like a circumstance that isn't great for either of them, and they're trying to work it out together. But that's not clear. That meaning that I just wrote out, what I just said, is not clear from the poem. You kind of want them to break up, don't you? I don't really, nothing's clear in here. The metaphor isn't expanded on like good enough. All these silly images I give, jumping on stuff, swinging from curtains, it's not tied into the theme enough for it to be clear. So it's kind of like, whatever. Like, there's no one to blame. Huh? What? How does that help? That confuses me. What's going on? I wrote this because there was an issue in a relationship I had, and it wasn't anybody's fault, and we still loved each other despite that, and it was just kind of me telling them, I still like you. We're kind of dealing with this thing together. I still like you. We're not together anymore. Later in drafts, it stopped being about that person. I just kind of thought, oh, this would be a good line for this poem. Oh, this would be a good characterization of this person, blah, 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 blah. And it stopped being about what had actually happened to me and just became like its own separate thing, which ended up being better that way, I think. All right, so here is like a year and a half later when I finally pick it back up and go, hey, this was something. The floor in lava? God damn it. The floor is lava and the doors are gone. I'm balancing tiptoed on the arm of a chair. You are swinging from curtain to curtain. It takes us many slips, leaps, and close calls just to get to the kitchen and share a meal together. You say the chicken is a little burnt. I ask for support as I jump on couch cushions. You are across the room, sitting alone in the corner. If we sit together, the seat will sink. If we lay down together, the house seems too small. Neither of us found the source of the flood, but if I blame you and you blame me, one of us has to be right. Our home that was able to hold flowers is choking on smoke and ash. We tried rain dances and tiny droplets made of steam, but no shore. We tried sailing on the kitchen table until it sprung a leak. If you stay there and I stay here, we can't sink any further, but we take our chances and hop closer. You can't save me from getting singed. I'd rather slip and fall than be another piece of furniture. Take my hand, love. Over the bubbling hydrochloric acids that churn under us, we dip our feet in, wiggling our toes in. The heat is worse in a glass of bourbon. This is obviously when it stops being about what actually was going on in real life, because this sounds like, this sounds different. Side note, Canadians, any Canadians? What the fuck happened to Tim's coffee? Why does it all taste like water now? It wasn't great before, but I feel like the last few months, since like, I don't know, May, every single one I've ever gotten tastes like water now. Bad. That's my biggest first world problem, is that I can't get a good tasting coffee anywhere. And I don't like McDonald's. Okay, I kept the first line. It goes hard, proud of this line, and I feel like it sets the tone. Floor is lava, we got this problem, the doors are gone, we're not leaving. I don't need a period there, and I have all these commas, so I get on commas a lot. I think I'm gonna keep these because they're a list. You can leave them if it's a list, but you could also space it out. You can have the words be further apart. And maybe that would work because I'm hopping, boop, 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 you know? That might work better, actually. In a big stanza like this, if I have the end of a sentence, having a period for clarity is good. Having a comma is unnecessary. Having commas in a list, acceptable. You're across the room, sitting alone. You say the chicken's a little burnt. I'll keep that. I love that line too. I thought it was so funny because I pictured these two silently eating together in uncomfortable positions because they're trying not to touch the lava. They just figured out how to cook this meal and they're silently eating, and he's like, well, it's a little burnt. Like, what's really great about this one is that I got to spread out a little bit. I really wanted to focus on connecting all these images to the theme of the poem through my language. So I asked for support as I jump from couch cushions. This part, when we sit together, them not being able to sit together just to get to the kitchen and share a meal. Look how hard it is for us to do something normal. The day-to-day life in this house is just so dumb. Neither of us have found the source of the flood, but if I blame you and you blame me, one of us has to be right. This is a much better way of saying what I was trying to say in the sonnet, which was like, there's no one to blame. And then I just left it there. This at least has characterization. That's a long word. You at least understand their mentality against each other, their dynamic. Yeah, maybe it doesn't point towards the problem, but it points towards how these two are handling it, which is not well. Yeah, so stanza 1 is just talking about their day-to-day life, how, and making it clear that this is an allegory for their relationship. So set up here, and then I wanted to expand it into their dynamic. We see them trying to solve it while still blaming each other. I really love the table until it sprung a leak. Also going with the dynamic, was able to hold flowers. We used to have a nice relationship. Now it's choking on smoke and ash. For stanza 3, I wanted the reader to want them to stay together. I wanted to focus on their loneliness and how this kind of living in this problem with kind of makes them feel lifeless. Bubbling hydrochloric acid. I wanted it to sound like bile because I wanted it to be like this problem, this lava is within them, but it's bad. It's bad. Good idea, bad execution. Bad, bad, bad. And then glass of bourbon. I wanted to sound more poetic than the simple way I said it in the sonnet. I wanted to like, and I also kept the rhyme in bourbon, but then ew. What? We hop closer. Stay here. This doesn't help. What was the fuss about? I don't really have a transition. Subject A, subject B. Where's the transition? I guess here, kinda, this part is supposed to be, but we can't sink any further. God, I hope I didn't keep that. How is it not so bad? You know? I'm not gonna get too into this one, because I feel like it's very much like draft 4. I added a title this time. It's giving Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Don't Sit Beside Me, We'll Sink. So you can see I kept this again. Okay, so I put this by itself. Why? Sometimes, because when I edit my work, I like to look for opportunities for more imagery, more opportunities for strangeness, more opportunities to expand something or say something instead of just going through the motions. When I notice an opportunity, which is all vibe-based, it's all based off style, it's all based off of like, it kind of feels like a metal detector in your brain and you're like, there. Sometimes if I find somewhere I can put it without saying, and then without, but I can't think of something, I will leave myself a little reminder. Oh, this is what I love about this poem. Bone-eatingly. Yes! While I was writing this draft, I was in college, because I did my university degree for English and creative writing, and then I went to college, and then I wrote a book of poetry with a published poet. I sent him this one. He highlighted bone-eatingly and wrote, yep. So I was like, yes, I got away with it. I figured it out. I have somebody else's seal of approval. It felt really cool. I kept this for why? Oh, I finally got rid of the other N, thank God. What did I do differently? Oh, here we go. All we can do is watch each other continents away. I used continents here because when I was writing, I kept thinking about like huge chunks of earth floating around in lava, and I kind of wanted to add just a tiny bit of that imagery in here. Is that how you spell that? I'm moving on because I can't see anything else I edited. I switched to third person here. It didn't work. It did not work in this poem, but it's nice that I tried it. It's nice that I wanted to see a version in third person. I write a lot of my poems in third person. I usually create like a wacky little character in a wacky little situation. That's what Tiptoeing on Beige was. That's kind of what Teeny Meeny and Ivan are about. Actually, this one's published. It's coming out this July in Dog-Eared Anthology Volume 1, and it's in there with another one of my poems called Man-Shaped Myths, which is about another third-person wacky little guy who's just stuck in a wacky little situation. He falls into a pit and he can't get out. This one doesn't work because it's focused in on her. She feels like the main character, but that doesn't work because the problem is equally theirs. If it's first person point of view, then I'm just sharing my experience or the speaker's first person experience, and then it doesn't feel as much like there's a narrator taking a side. He feels less like a character than she does. There's nothing from her point of view that he can't do thematically or that he doesn't feel. Depending on the reader, can signal something about heterosexuality, and not an individual couple because the he and the she are said so much. I feel like it puts up a wall between the reader and the speaker as well. Well, there's no speaker right here. There's kind of a narrator. Yeah, if it's a narrative poem, it's a narrator. I keep forgetting that. Emotionally, this one has taken a step back. I still don't like this line. Spelling errors. Error. I put this back on stanza 2 before this one in draft 3. This one was alone. I like it to be in stanza 2 because it mirrors the beginning of the stanza. It starts and ends kind of the same way. I think that's a nice touch. In stanza 3, I said all we can do. I think I switched to specs for the imagery and for emphasis. In draft 3, I said choking on smoke and ash, right? Is choking on smoke and ash. And here I said can't breathe out the smoke. Here's something with cliches. Thinking about me reading my viewers' poems from my last video, and I think the fourth one I went through, he said, the sweet scent hits my nose, the smell of your clothes, or something. That's a cliche. He had a lot of cliches in that stanza. But they're all good ideas. Having all these things remind you of the beloved is a great idea. Unfortunately, a lot of them are cliches, and it's really hard to get around cliches when you're talking about love because love has been talked about in poetry so goddamn much. Everything's a cliche now, and it's really hard. If you want to keep that idea, but you know it's a cliche, just say it in a different way. Talk about her scent following you around. Talk about being reminded of her through the smell of her clothes. Do it, but you have to say it in a new way. I said in that video, put your face in that laundry hamper and snort it. Like, that's a new way to say the same thing everybody else said. That feels genuine. That's kind of what I attempted with this. Can't breathe out the smoke. I thought that sounded less cliched than choking on smoke and ash. Stanza 3 is, if we sit together, the seat will sink. If we lay down together, the house seems too small. Here I said, at night the bed sinks under their weight. So they wave goodnight from across the room. A molten glow never dims behind their eyes. The imagery of waving goodnight. You can't kiss goodnight. They can't kiss goodnight. Their problem is so bad they can't even kiss each other goodnight. And the image of waving goodnight and this huge distance between them is, I like that. I wanted the molten glow never dims behind their eyes because I wanted it to sound like this problem is all they can think about even when they're sleeping. They can't escape. All they can see is this glow. All they can feel is the lava. They can't do anything without the lava around. But I don't like the wording. Let's look at the final one, shall we? I haven't looked at the past drafts in years. I haven't seen them in a very, very long time. This piece has been done for a long time, for like over a year now. And kind of don't like it as much anymore. I kind of wish I kept a few things. Kind of wish it was... Before this, I was very, 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 very proud. I'm still proud of this piece. I still really, really like this piece. I would just want to tweak it again. The floor is lava. The floor is lava and the doors are gone. I'm balancing tiptoed on the arm of a chair. You are swinging from curtain to curtain. It takes us many slips, leaps, and close calls just to get to the kitchen and share a meal together. You say the chicken is a little burnt. I ask for support as I jump on couch cushions, and you are across the room, sitting alone on the corner. If we sit together, the seat will sink. If we lay down together, the house seems too small. Neither of us knows what flooded the house. But if I blame you and you blame me, one of us has to be right. Our home that was able to hold flowers is choking on smoke and ash. We tried rain dances and tiny droplets made steam but no shore. We tried sailing on the kitchen table until it sprang a leak. If you stay there and I stay here, we can't sink any further. All we can do is watch each other continents away. Lava churns and spits under us, glowing angry and bone-eatingly. But I miss you sitting beside me. You can't save me from getting singed. I'd rather slip and fall than be another piece of furniture. Take my hand, love. We'll dip our feet in. I wiggle my toes around just fine. I changed the title again. I changed it to The Floor is Lava because I didn't like the other one. And I felt like this one was more intriguing because everyone knows the game. Whenever I read this one at readings, this always gets a laugh. So yeah, I took out the molten shit is gone because I didn't like it anymore. And I felt like my point with this affecting everything comes across okay right now. Like, I kind of want to put the waving goodnight back in. I think I cut it out to make it sound simpler, to not go off too many places, to not do too much. I think that's why I took it out, but I miss the waving goodnight. That's so silly. So there's poems that I've done like 10 drafts of because I wrote them years and years and years ago, and I'm like, there's potential, like I can change him, I can fix him. So I go through many, many drafts, and then I end up taking the soul out of it, and I should have left it and just continued on with new ideas. And then usually my poems now, I will think of like an allegory and the meaning behind it. I'll think of those two things. And then I will think of kind of a way to present it. So like, for example, the first draft of this, I had the Volta. That was my way of presenting it. So we'll think of like those kind of three things: the meaning, the allegory, and the presenting of it. And then I will just word vomit everything I can in that kind of form. And then draft 2, I will cut out everything that doesn't need to be there. Usually, looking at the first draft, I can see, oh, I should have gone this way. Oh, this part has opportunities for better language. This part has opportunities for technique. Oh, I could format it this way. So draft 2 it's doing all the organizing and all the poetic shit, while draft 1 for me is a lot of just get it on the page. Don't worry about anything. Draft 2, I'm worrying about it. And then I usually have a draft 3 to extra polish it. And my poems now take about 3-ish drafts, when before they took 10, because my brain is able to understand how I work. You'll hear that a lot with authors who write books. It's like, I know how to write a book. I know the function of writing a book. So my ideas come, I file it away how I file my ideas, and then the book comes out. If you're a beginner writer, just know that that's something to look forward to. Why the fuck do I have periods at the end of stanzas? Why do I have commas? When did I write this? Did I know that was bad yet? I kept that love, didn't I? I liked the tone shift, and I liked how tender it sounds after all this shit. What the fuck is that? I like how it's tender. They've decided to get rid of the distance and the blame and the bickering, but I miss you. I don't want to blame you anymore. I'd rather slip and fall than be another piece of furniture. And I wanted this to sound brave. That going at a problem head on is a brave thing to do. I wanted this to feel like the first draft, like I said, acceptance of each other, of what they've been through, accepting that this is their problem and the distance isn't going to do anything. We have to do this in a different way. Did I go back to choking on smoke and ash? You dumbass Parker. What the fuck? After everything I just said about it. Huh. Choices. I've made choices. I feel like there's something lacking in the understanding of the meaning behind it. Something about... I feel like I'm missing something. Everyone I've ever shown this to, including 2 different award-winning poets, have told me that this piece is polished and done. Not to brag. Not to brag. I'm just saying, I thought this piece was... They said it was done. I've shown it to my friends and other poets, and they said it's done. I feel like there's something missing, and this is why sometimes I don't like getting feedback. It's because some people just go, oh, it's good. I want to be Newman, and I want a Fletcher. That I want someone to tell me if I'm being you know what I'm talking about? I want a Gordon Ramsay. I want a mentor, man. Because I don't like it when people say, oh, you did good. Okay, do you mean that? So maybe I'm going crazy now. I haven't eaten today. Shocker. Glowing and bone-eatingly, but I miss you sitting beside me. You can't save me from getting singed. What? I think my confusion comes from stanza 2, we're talking about rain dances and sailing on the kitchen table, but here, we can dip our feet in. This sounds like something you'd say when you finally want to face the problem. But stanza 2 sounds like they've been facing the problem. So what's the difference between... I guess this is getting deeper. You're actually getting into the lava. So it is different. But why is it so okay now? Why is it so fine now? It's a realization to the speaker. Oh my god, it is fine. I wiggle my toes around just fine. They didn't know that before. Obviously, that's why they were living that way. So maybe this problem wasn't so bad. Finally facing this problem. Maybe it's not so bad because we're working on it together. We're a team this time. Maybe this poem is fine. My gut's telling me something's off. It's already published. I want to leave it alone. I'm not doing another draft. Yes, I am. So I decided I wasn't going to leave it alone. I don't like leaving my poems when my gut is telling me that they're not done. And like having a done poem feels really good. And I wasn't feeling really good after I saw all those edits. And you know, I make a big freaking stink about not half-assing poetry in all my videos. So you can call me a lot of things, but a hypocrite is not one of them. So here's the actual final draft. You can pause to read it if you like. In stanza 1, I took out the last 2 lines because I wanted the distance between them throughout the poem to feel like their choice. I brought back the waving goodnight because I like it and because it feels like they still like each other. I wanted the reader to see something nice between them before getting into stanza 2. For stanza 2, I took out that god-awful breathing smoke line. It took a while to find a replacement. I just decided to not use the word smoke at all. I wrote out a few versions of the line that could go there. The first one, something about we wouldn't be so cruel now. I don't like it because it sounds like a metaphor for not wanting to bring kids into this situation, and I didn't want to make the reader think that. So instead I made it about the dresser. The next thing I did in stanza 2 was I changed the pronouns around the rain dancing and the sailing on the table. I wanted to show that these two quote-unquote solutions didn't work because they did it separately, because stanza 3 emphasizes like the take my hand and us being together. Stanza 3, I changed the first line because all we can do started rubbing me the wrong way, and that's kind of all I need to take a line out. I was really unsure about how to change the stanza because I kept wanting to add too much. I kept almost over-explaining what was going on, but I felt like it's better keeping it simple. Missing someone is a very simple feeling. Like, I just miss you. And missing someone can also make all the other problems seem smaller in comparison because you just want them back beside you. And I felt like leaving the stanza simpler could help me with that kind of feeling. I think this works better, but if you disagree, if you have any other thoughts, leave them in the comments. This is just my opinion. I feel a lot better about this draft, honestly. And thanks for going on this journey with me. I really didn't expect the video to unfold like this. I thought it was gonna be a really simple, quick video. Oh my god. What a joy writing is. Look at how much fun I had. Ooh, I'm gonna give myself this little bear. Miarkova. Hey.